Japan has the highest life expectancy on Earth, the lowest rates of anxiety-related illness in the developed world. Cities so orderly they feel like a different planet. And almost none of it comes from expensive products, complicated routines, or willpower. It comes from 25 small habits. Most take under a minute, and almost all of them have been quietly forgotten by people like me, and maybe like you. Let me explain what I mean by that. I grew up in Osaka. My father made his bed before the sun came up. My mother folded laundry like it was origami, precise, unhurried, deliberate. My grandmother moved through her home with a quietness that I now understand was not just personality, it was philosophy. Nothing in that house was chaotic, nothing was left undone, and nobody talked about it because nobody needed to. It was simply how life was lived. Then I moved abroad, and slowly, so slowly I didn't notice, I stopped. The bed went unmade, the laundry piled up, the kitchen accumulated things. I was busy, I told myself. I was adapting, but the truth is, I was drifting. By my 50s, I had a home that felt cluttered and heavy, and a mind that matched it. I felt behind on everything, always. It wasn't until after 60 that I finally turned back around. I started asking what my family actually did, and why, and what happened to me when I stopped doing it. What I found was not complicated. It was almost embarrassingly simple, and that simplicity, that's exactly what nobody is selling you, because simple doesn't make money. These 25 habits are what I found. Let's go. 1. Make your bed before anything else. Not because anyone will see it, because it's the first message you send your own brain each morning. I am in control today. In Japan, this is non-negotiable. 1 minute. The day begins with order, and order is contagious. It spreads from the bed to the desk, to the kitchen, to the mind. 2. Wake before the noise starts. Many Japanese people rise before dawn, not to be productive, but to have silence first. A few minutes of quiet before the world demands things from you changes the entire quality of the day. You begin from stillness rather than catching up to chaos. Try it once. You will understand immediately. 3. Remove your shoes at the door, and mean it. This is about more than cleanliness. Though the cleanliness benefit is enormous, it's about creating a threshold. Outside stays outside. The moment you cross into your home, you enter a different space, calmer, safer, yours. That transition matters. Mark it physically and your nervous system will follow. 4. Wash dishes. Immediately after eating, not later, not after the show ends, immediately. The Japanese principle here is simple. Don't let things accumulate. A clean kitchen after every meal takes 2 minutes. A kitchen ignored for a day takes 20. The math always favors doing it now. And there's something deeper. A clean kitchen after dinner means you close the day cleanly. You don't carry it into the evening. 5. Keep one surface completely clear, just one. Your desk, your dining table, your kitchen counter. Choose one surface and commit to keeping it empty, not organized, empty. In Japanese homes, clear surfaces are treated as breathing room for the mind. Visual clutter activates low-level stress in the brain. One clear surface gives your eyes somewhere to rest. That rest matters more than it sounds. 6. Fold clothes like they deserve it. When I came back to this habit, I felt slightly ridiculous at first, but within a week, something shifted. My wardrobe became findable, my mornings became faster, and there was a quiet satisfaction in opening a drawer that was neat, a tiny daily reminder that I take care of what I have. The Japanese approach to folding, vertical storage, each item visible, is not about aesthetics. It's about respect for what you own. 7. Eat sitting down, always. No eating while walking, no eating while standing over the counter, no eating while scrolling. In Japan, food has its own moment. When you eat standing up or distracted, you don't register the meal. Your body doesn't register fullness properly. Your digestion is compromised, and you lose the only real rest break most people have in a busy day. Sit down, eat slowly. That meal is yours. Take it. 8. Drink green tea. instead of reaching for something sweet. I'm not telling you to change your entire diet, just this one substitution when the afternoon craving hits. Green tea contains L-theanine, a compound that promotes calm alertness without the spike and crash of sugar or coffee. Japanese consumption of green tea correlates directly with lower rates of anxiety, cardiovascular disease, and cognitive decline in older adults. 1 cup in the afternoon changed the quality of my evenings. It takes 90 seconds to make. 9. Take a warm bath before bed. Not a shower. A bath. Japanese ofuro culture is one of the most underappreciated health practices in the world. A warm bath, 90 minutes before sleep, raises your core body temperature slightly. And then as your body cools back down, it triggers the natural sleep mechanism more powerfully than almost any supplement. It also closes the day. You step out clean, warm, and finished. Whatever happened today is washed away. Tomorrow starts fresh. 10. Spend 5 minutes tidying your personal space each morning. Not the whole house, just your space, your bedside table, your desk, the small corner of the world that belongs entirely to you. 5 minutes. In Japan, there is no distinction between private spaces and shared ones when it comes to care. You don't clean for guests, you clean for yourself. That shift in thinking, "this is for me," is what makes the habit stick. This is the halfway point, and I want to pause here, because what comes next connects directly to something I've been building for a few years now. When I started rediscovering these habits after 60, I kept a journal. Not a tidy one, a real one, full of memories and mistakes and things I wished I'd understood sooner. I wrote about my grandmother's folding, about the drawer I finally cleaned out at 63 that I'd been avoiding for a decade, about what it felt like to wake up to an ordered home after years of quiet chaos. That journal became a book. I called it One Quiet Morning, because that's where all of this begins. One morning, one habit, 1 minute. Helen from New Zealand wrote to me after reading it and said she hadn't realized how much she'd been carrying until she put it down. Miriam from Canada said the chapter on personal spaces made her cry because she recognized herself in every line. Frank from Dublin said he bought a second copy for his daughter, who is going through the same drift I went through in my 30s. It's in the pinned comment below. Everything I've relearned, everything my family knew, written honestly and without fuss. If this video is resonating with you, that book is where it goes deeper. Now, back to the habits. 11. Say thank you before and after eating. Itadakimasu before. Gochi-so-sama after. Gratitude at meals is not religious ceremony in Japan. It's a daily practice of noticing that the food exists, that someone grew it, transported it, prepared it, that you are fed. This 10-second practice, done consistently, rewires the way you experience ordinary moments. Gratitude is not a feeling you wait for. It's a habit you build. 12. Learn one small thing every day, not a course, not a commitment, one word, one fact, one technique. My grandmother learned how to fold a new style of origami at 78. She said keeping her hands learning kept her mind young. Neuroscience agrees. Novelty stimulates the brain's plasticity mechanisms. You don't need to study, you just need to stay curious. One small thing every day. 13. Go outside and walk, even briefly. Japan's Aruki culture, the habit of walking rather than driving for short distances, is one of the quiet pillars of Japanese longevity, not exercise as performance, just movement as daily life. A 15-minute walk after a meal improves blood sugar regulation, digestion, and mood, not because of intensity, because of consistency. Walking every day is not a workout. It's maintenance. Maintenance works. 14. Have a quiet place in your home. It doesn't need to be a room, a corner, a chair by a window, a cushion in a specific spot. In Japan, even the smallest apartments contain intentional quiet spaces, not for sleeping, not for watching television, but for nothing in particular. For breathing, for sitting, for being somewhere that isn't pulling at you. If you don't have that place yet, create it today. Your nervous system will thank you within a week. 15. Repair before you replace. This is one of the habits I lost most completely during my years abroad. When something broke, I replaced it. When clothes wore through, I bought new ones. In Japan, there is a concept, mottainai, which expresses a kind of grief over wastefulness. Nothing that still has life in it should be thrown away. Learning to repair, to mend, to maintain. This practice changes your relationship with everything you own. You become less careless, less wasteful, and quietly more grateful. 16. Keep a simple emergency preparedness kit. This is not about fear. Japan is one of the most earthquake and disaster-prone countries on Earth, and preparation is simply adult responsibility there, like having a first aid kit or wearing a seatbelt. Clean water for 3 days, non-perishable food, a torch, basic medicines, a list of emergency contacts written on paper, not just saved in a phone, 30 minutes to organize, peace of mind that never expires. 17. Speak quietly in shared spaces. On public transport, in restaurants, in shops. Japanese culture treats shared space as shared responsibility. Your noise affects other people's experience, and that matters. This habit is not about suppression, it's about awareness. When you lower your volume in shared spaces, you also lower your own internal agitation. Quiet voice, quieter mind. Try it for a week and notice the difference. 18. Listen without interrupting. This is harder than it sounds, especially as we get older and feel we have more to contribute. But in Japan, interrupting someone mid-sentence is considered a significant discourtesy, not because of rigid etiquette, but because it communicates what I want to say matters more than what you're saying. Letting someone finish completely without planning your response while they speak changes the quality of every conversation you have. People feel heard by you. Relationships deepen. It costs nothing. 19. Avoid impulse purchases. Wait 48 hours. Before buying anything non-essential, wait 2 days. This single practice saved me more money and more clutter than any organizational system I ever tried. In Japan, the decision to bring something into your home is taken seriously because every object that enters your space makes a claim on your attention. If after 48 hours you still want it and genuinely need it, buy it. Most of the time, you won't think about it again. 20. Dress simply, but with care. Japanese minimalism in clothing is not about being boring. It's about choosing fewer things and wearing them with intention. Getting dressed thoughtlessly every morning is a small drain on your decision-making energy. Multiplied across years, it becomes significant. Choosing a simple, considered wardrobe means you start every day having already done one thing with care. That care carries forward. 21. Reduce sugar quietly. Japan has one of the lowest sugar consumption rates in the developed world, not through dramatic restriction, through gradual, consistent preference for less. Replace one sweet daily with fruit or nothing. Reduce by small degrees rather than cutting sharply. Your palate adjusts within 2 weeks, not because you forced it to, but because taste is a habit like any other. Less sugar means more stable energy, clearer thinking, and better sleep. The change is quiet and permanent. 22. Read books instead of scrolling. Japan consistently ranks among the highest nations for book reading per capita, not because Japanese people have more time, because they choose books on the train, in the cafe, in the park, in the 10 minutes before sleep that most of us hand to our phones. Reading builds concentration in a way that scrolling actively destroys. Even 20 minutes of reading before bed instead of screens will change the quality of your sleep within a week. The book you pick up tonight matters less than the habit of picking one up. 23. Care for what you already own. Clean your glasses, oil your wooden spoons, polish your shoes, touch up the scratch on the table. Japanese monozukuri, the art of making and maintaining things, extends to daily life as a practice of attention. When you care for what you have, you need less. When you need less, you accumulate less. When you accumulate less, your home breathes. And so do you. 24. Be patient with other people's pace. This one is personal for me. I am naturally quick. I walk fast, think fast, finish sentences too soon. Coming back to Japanese principles of patience, not as passivity, but as active respect, softened something in me that had been tight for years. In Japan, patience with others is understood as self-protection. Reacting with frustration costs you energy you cannot recover. The traffic will move when it moves. The queue will advance when it advances. Your irritation changes nothing except your own cortisol levels. 25. Find beauty in today, exactly as it is. The Japanese concept of mono no aware, the gentle sadness and appreciation of impermanence, is one of the most quietly radical ideas I know. The cup of tea this morning, the light through the window at 7 a.m., the specific sound your home makes when it's quiet. These moments do not repeat. They are happening now and then they are gone when you train yourself to notice them. Just notice, without needing to photograph or preserve or share, something in you settles. The restlessness that drives so much of our dissatisfaction begins to quiet. You are already somewhere worth paying attention to. You don't need all 25 of these tomorrow. My grandmother didn't think of any of them as habits. They were just life. But I had to come back to them one at a time, after 60, after years of drift. Each one I reclaimed made the next one easier. They build on each other quietly, the way good things do. Start with one, the one that pulled at something in you as you read it. That's the right one. One Quiet Morning, the book I mentioned earlier, is in the pinned comment. It's where these habits live in fuller form, alongside the memories and the honest account of what it took to come back to them. Pick one habit, start today. I'll see you in the next video.